I just want people to think about networking holistically. And really, I think people think like, oh, I have a strategy. I'm going to make a list of 5 people I want to talk to. Like, it's got to be more than that. Because if you're going to, take a shower, put your chonies on, leave the house, get on an airplane, you're going to make the effort to leave your business and your family for a couple days, then you have to put some effort into the actual event.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Go in there. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome to another mini episode. Mandy and Amani are back again, and today we're going to talk about how do we properly handle post networking. So, networking after we finish attending an event. Is that how you
Yes.
would define it? Is that how you would define it?
I call it post networking. Yeah.
Post networking. Okay.
Post networking. Yeah.
Where shall we begin?
Well, I think if we talk about post networking, we have to talk about pre networking. Not talk about it, but when I look at networking, I look at it as the whole enchilada. I look at it the pre, everything you do leading up to the actual networking event. And then the actual networking event, what are you doing on there at the actual event? And then post. Because you can't have any follow-up strategies if you haven't had a pre and a during strategy. So we don't have to talk about pre and during now, but I just want people to think about networking holistically. And really, I think people think like, oh, I have a strategy. I'm going to make a list of 5 people I want to talk to. Like, it's got to be more than that. Because if you're going to, take a shower, put your chonies on, leave the house, get on an airplane, you're going to make the effort to leave your business and your family for a couple days, then you have to put some effort into the actual event. You got to make the most of it while you're gone. So,
Yeah.
yeah, post for me is like anything immediately following the event to like 2 weeks after.
Okay. What are chonies, by the way?
Your undies. Your
Okay, just checking.
What do you think chonies are?
I thought it was a type of shoe. I don't know. So just checking, just for the people at the back there.
A lot of people are
Um,
wearing muumuus at home. A lot of people are choniless and they're on their
okay.
home offices.
Anyways, so
Are you blushing, Amani?
I
I feel
am
like you're
blushing.
blushing.
I am
Sorry.
blushing. So
Sorry.
after, example, I attended this networking event, the speaker showcase in Nashville this past week. And so I'll make sure to connect with everyone on LinkedIn and Instagram. I will also, engage in their posts when they're sharing about the event. I'll do that.
Mhm.
And then I'll just continue to support them as we go. If they're local, we had some things in common. Either or, we'll try to set up some follow up calls. I think I have 3 set up now. Um, yeah, that's kind of my top 3 things I'm doing from this current week.
I love that.
Am I
Okay, can
missing
I ask?
anything?
Well, no, that's exactly what I do, but I have a question about that. When you're following up with them on LinkedIn, it's all about the quality of that, right? Like, we don't want to send a message on LinkedIn like, so great to meet you, blah, 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 blah. Like, we want to reference something personal that we talked about, bring humor or levity if we can. And we want to be brief and then have a call to action, right? So that call to action might be, what was your big take? Maybe a question about what was your biggest takeaway? Or maybe it's when should we get together for coffee or when should we schedule a virtual date? But we always want to make sure we reference something personal and have a call to action and be brief in that follow up. If you're just like copying and pasting a
Yeah.
canned follow up, like nobody reads those. People delete those.
Uh,
So
what I will try to do is to follow our fearless leader, Richard Bliss, when it comes to LinkedIn. And I will try
mm,
to see when they post about the event and make a specific comment on their post, which will help them in the algorithm. So I try to do that and follow up that way. That's one of the main things. I'll look and wait for them to make a post and follow up that way, in addition to connecting with them.
I love that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like your three-pronged approach. Also, what about your own posts? What do you do? Like, do you post takeaways or anything like that? Because I love to do that. That's one of my favorite things after an event is, day one, day two, day three. I like to post a couple
Yeah.
pictures of selfies or pictures I taken and then my top 4 or 5 takeaways from the day, because I want to give value to my community,
Yeah.
but I also like to I go to the comments and tag the people that I met and ask them what their favorite takeaways were too, so we just can keep that conversation going.
Yeah. So I love how you do that. I'm impressed how you consistently do that, and I learned from you. I didn't really do that this week because I just put up a picture of me on stage, and I just mentioned that the feedback we got was very relevant and actionable. I should have done some more takeaways in retrospect, but I just have to keep that top of mind because like you are the gold standard when it comes to takeaways after events, and I forgot that this week actually.
Well,
I
it's
was
not
so
too late.
excited.
It's
It's
not
not
too
too
late.
late.
No, and sometimes I'll schedule it. Like a couple months ago, we had an HPN Southern California strategy meeting, and the post didn't really match with what I was posting about that month. So I scheduled it for last month. I scheduled it for this month, and I just posted a picture of all of us leaning in, thinking, and I posted my takeaways. And it was a month later, and I just said, "Hey, earlier last month, here's what we did," and
Yeah,
it got a lot of engagement. And not
yeah,
only that, it like not only got engagement, but it gives value, right? I just want to keep giving to your
yes.
community and then have a new way to expand your network a little bit too.
You're great at that. So just to give people background, I was in Nashville for a speaker showcase. I had a 15-minute, really strict requirements, and I did a portion of my Resilient and Brilliant 7 Keys to Unlocking Your Creativity speech. And I had my turntables. I had a controller on stage with me as I played the music during the presentation. What I might do is if I can get a better shot of me with the closer to the turntables, I might post that up in a couple weeks with more takeaways. I'll do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Or even have you ever considered adding music to your keynote speech like I did in Nashville 3 weeks ago or
Oh
something?
yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's
Mandy's gonna
cool.
coach me. Mandy's gonna keep coaching me. She doesn't realize it yet. But yes.
Wait, so I want to hear about it. How'd it
Yeah.
go?
It
How'd the
went so
15 minutes?
well. It went well. Like this one, I was really nervous because it was like I'm speaking in front of like mom and dad. Because Roy and AJ with Brand Builders Group, they've been helping for a while, very experienced. They can be tough in their critiques. And so it was really nervous. I practiced for weeks coming up. I made some I need to make some improvements because I turned my slides in early and I really should have waited if I could have to add some more information to the slides. That would have helped me because I was so scared about forgetting something. And I didn't
Mm,
forget anything. I might have forgot 1 or 2 lines, but it's really hard to get what I wanted to say down to 15 minutes. I was so worried about going over because they'll play
yeah,
music, they'll play you off.
yeah.
So it went well. I got some really interesting feedback. Like most everyone remembered the music, and that really stood out. They really liked that because I was the only one that played music during the presentation, except for Rob. He went last, and so it was good. And Rory got up there. He was talking to me. He said, he said the more I hear you speak, the more I think the problem you solve is resilience instead of like creativity. He was like resilience because the story I talked about that was the pillar point I talked about, and so it was interesting to get his feedback. And then AJ gave me feedback on how to tie the stories better together to the message, which was great. Um, but really, the gold was listening to the feedback from the 23 other speakers. Like,
Mm,
we all have to work on adding more humor to our speeches. We all have to work
I
on,
love that. Love humor
yeah,
in a speech. Yeah.
yeah, that which you do very well. We all have to worry about making sure that we have these quotes and these tweetable moments as slides so people can take the picture and send them out. That's another one. Um, then it was just simple stuff like stagecraft. Like if you're facing the crowd and you're talking about the past, you want to be on the right hand side of the stage. As you move forward to the current and the future, you want to cross over to the left hand side stage. When you're telling a story, you want to and you finish the story, you want to break the plane, which means you come up through to like the top of the stage to ask the audience questions. That was another one there. It was so many. Every story must have a hero that's not you. So it was so many like of those kind of takeaways that were just really, really good. And just to be there listening and just to see how they talk to people who were at different levels. There were some phenomenal speakers there. Like there
Mhm.
were some people there, you're like, whoa. And there are other people there that were just beginning. Then some of us, like me, kind of in the middle. Um, and it was just really good feedback. It was interesting. I'm so happy I went the first day because I couldn't sleep the night before, so I couldn't imagine not getting sleep 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
But I was so happy to get the music on stage, do it in front of that kind of audience, which is like, big deal. And then I get footage from it too, in front of like a packed kind of house, which is great for the sizzle reel. So that's kind of my first thoughts.
I was gonna ask because the stage looked really big and the production looked gorgeous. So I was hoping you were gonna get some pictures and video from it for
Yes.
yourself,
Get-
for your marketing. That's awesome.
Yeah, get videos, pictures, all the things. So that was one of the main reasons to go, in addition to getting the feedback. And now, that leads me to another question. We'll do some live coaching right now.
Ah,
Is
fun. All
that
right.
I just finished doing a, session with Berkeley College of Music on like how to writing a book.
Uh-huh.
And I'm doing two sessions with them. One session is how to write a book, and one session is on how to make more money as a musician. If you were to guess which session has the highest attendance, which one would you guess?
How to write a book.
Why is that the case? You're right. How is that the case?
I think it's such a mystery to other people. Like we've done it, so we know it's not that big of a mystery, but everybody wants to write a book and it's not always business. Everybody's got a story to tell. Everybody wants to write a book. I think it's great. I love it when people want to write books. Yeah.
So, in the spirit of revenue streams, is that would Mandy the coach advise Amani to look at that as a potential new revenue stream in terms of coaching?
How to write a book? Yeah. I mean, think about no, everybody wants to know how to write a book. And the thing is you're not going to tell them specifically how to write a book. I think that's what people think. Like when I hired a writing coach, she didn't tell me what to write. She gave me some suggestions for process, which is essentially what you're going to do. Like, and the hardest thing, as you know, about writing a book isn't writing the book. It's making time to sit down. It's being open to feedback. It's finding the right publisher. It's working with the right marketing people. It's everything except the actual book.
Yeah.
Um, and you've done that twice now. So,
Yeah.
and you're an expert. If there's, I don't know, I don't think there's a better coach than you. You've done it twice on two different topics and two different platforms. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then what's your response to how some people, which we don't need to worry about what people think, are like, oh, you shouldn't dilute your services, stick in your niche.
Well, what is your coaching? What are you coaching on right now? You're coaching musicians on the music
How to
business,
make
right?
how to make more money, and some hospitality professionals too. It's a little bit loose, but the reason I ask is because this is the second time more than 4 to 1 the interest is like the one for music business and how to get more money. That one might have 30 people registered. This one had
Mm.
almost 100 people registered, which is a sign that we're supposed to pay attention to the signs.
Yeah. Pay attention to the signs. I don't think you have to be in. I mean, I think it's good to niche down on like two or three coaching topics, but
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't think you have to abandon one to make room for the other. I think you're a professor by trade, right? You're naturally a coach. You have a lot of interests, you have a lot of things that you're good at, and one person might come to you one day to get coached on, the music business, and that same person may come to you 2 years later on how to write a book. You're not gonna do it all in the same session, it's just they don't match each other.
Okay. So that's the live coaching. You can see how good Mandy is. So she was like right away, oh, yes, do it. Yes. Boom, boom, boom,
Let's
boom.
do it. Although I would say this, I would encourage you to think about what your differentiator is as a book coach because there's a lot of book coaches out there. And I think people don't know what they're getting themselves into when they hire a book coach. So I would come up with like your three or four differentiators and be really clear about them. Because if somebody comes to you and they're like, oh, I have a great idea for a book, I just need somebody to put it into place for me, that's not you. Right.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
if they're like, I have a great idea for a book and I need help figuring out how to sit down and do it, that's where you can help.
Yeah.
So,
Or
yeah.
coach them through the whole release process too, which was like
Yeah.
on steroids. That would be one. Okay. We will report back on this one. And we want to thank you for watching this mini, which was packed with information today.
Yeah.
Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on the platform that you're watching or listening on. Tell a friend, and we will see you next week for another mini.
See you next
Bye,
week.
everyone.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in to Adventures in Business. Don't forget to rate and review our podcast on the platform that you're currently listening it on. And don't forget to share it with your friends and anybody that might be as much of the business nerds as Amani and I are.
See you next time for another captivating interview.